Blessings in a Backpack provides children in our community nutritious bags of food in their backpacks every Friday during the school year. This effort is to help ensure that kids have a meal over the weekend. And joining me today is Jama Ross, who is their executive director. Good morning.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes. So this initiative is just really amazing. When I was reading about it, it kind of broke my heart a little bit, looking at the statistics and thinking about that there are kids that can actually go home without food over the weekend. So I love what you all are doing. So give us an overview of your organization and your mission.
Well, and I think a lot of people in our community don't realize just how rampant hunger is. The statistic that we've gone on for a couple years is that 70% of kids in Fort Wayne community schools are struggling with food insecurity, meaning they don't know where or when their next meal is coming from. But that's actually an outdated statistic. So with inflation and the soaring cost of groceries, we're actually looking at more of an 80%.
Wow.
In some of the schools that we're in, it's actually up to 95%. So if we can just imagine 95% of kids in a school that doesn't know when or where their next meal is coming from. Mm-hmm. So we go into schools, and once we're implemented, every Friday the kids open up their backpack, we stick a bag of food in there, and then we know that they're not going without food for the entire weekend.
Yeah. That is so great. And you all have different programs that you initiate throughout the year. So can you kind of go over them for me?
Sure. So of course there is our feeding program, which is every child, once we're in a school, every child gets it. So there is not like a have and haves not. There's not that stigma attached, which we think is so vital. Yeah. We also have what we call Believe bags. And our Believe bags are really to fight some of the other issues that come along with just that lack of nutrition. So if you're battling food insecurity, it's directly related to mental health issues, low self-esteem, poor scholastic scores. You can't expect anybody to thrive if their basic needs aren't being met. So to kind of battle that self-esteem issue, we have something we call Believe bags. And it's when we know that children are really seeing that other kids might be getting more than them, or maybe that they need a spot at their table filled. So like Thanksgiving, Christmas, back to school, we give them a gift bag that not only has food, but also has a little extra stuff in there. And of course, a message telling them we believe in their dreams. We believe that they're valid. We believe that they're worthy. And of course, we're out here rooting for them. Yeah. So it's really not only feeding the tummy, it's also feeding the soul.
Yeah, I love that. And you mentioned about it being equal. So I want to talk about that and circle back, because you said that basically anyone can get the food. So it's not an isolated experience. It's not a child feeling kind of insecure about asking for it. It's just a general program that does not discriminate.
Right. Once we're in a school, every child gets fed every Friday. Because what we've discovered in study after study is that if a child is told that this is something that creates that stigma, number one, there's several reasons why families don't sign up for assistance. I was one of those single moms that I didn't sign up for help, although I definitely could have used it. Yeah. And so we don't want to create, number one, the feeling that they have to ask for help or admit that they need that kind of help, because there's many reasons why they won't, and then kids go without. Right. Or that we separate the kids and they have to feel like, I am somebody who is lacking because I have to ask for this. Because studies show the kids will not eat the food if they feel like they're going to get made fun of for it. So we feel like that's just as damaging as not being fed. Yeah. So it just alleviates that problem of every kid, every Friday. And I feel like if the biggest problem with the organization is that we have given kids just too much food, I can sleep at night. I can sleep at night with that, because like I said, in these schools that are in the 90 percentile, nobody's being overfed. They need every mouthful they can get.
Yes, and there are so many schools in the district of Fort Wayne. And so is Blessings in a Backpack in every single school?
Oh,
how do you kind of work through and placement? Are you looking for new schools to go to? What is the status?
Absolutely. So we started in 2007. We're currently in 7 schools, and it is the top, we go by the needs. So the top schools that are most food insecure, we go into. And again, because we insist that every child is fed, it takes us a little bit longer to make sure that, number one, that's sustainable, that we won't go in and have to pull it out after the kids are getting used to it, and number two, that every single child can have that. We have 3 schools that are on our waiting list. And so we're always looking for, adopt a school sponsors, corporations who could come in and who can fill that need to make sure that we're consistently expanding and we're adding.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're getting ready to add our 8th school, and ideally will be in every school, and then we can start expanding to the middle schools, the high schools, and other counties. So it's a project that I see growing very quickly.
Yes, that's amazing. And as a nonprofit organization, I'm sure it takes so much effort to try to get the food, because it's like you're feeding that many children. Where does the food come from? So I know that you have different initiatives to allow for people to volunteer, to donate, and like you said, adopt a school.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we feed over 3,000 kids every weekend. Wow. So that's over 114,000 bags of food that we're able to distribute every year. And like you said, we're completely local nonprofit. So we're completely Fort Wayne. Our office space is donated. We only have one staff member. That's me.
Yeah.
But so that means that whenever someone is donating, it truly directly is going to food. It's not going to, huge overhead costs or marketing, or it's going directly into the mouths of kids. So we're pretty fortunate in that.
Yeah. So how can people participate, donate? How do you receive support?
So I think that the best way is, number one, helping us spread awareness. So even if there's nothing that you can give monetarily, going to our Facebook, liking our page, sharing our page, just to help people realize that, number one, food insecurity is a huge issue for our kids in our community. Number two, if you go to blessingsindiana.org, you can make a donation. You can look into how you can sponsor a child for a year. A year is only $120, and that feeds a child for an entire year through our program through the weekends. You can look on how you can get part of our Blessings Society. You can look into what it takes to actually take on a school and sponsor a whole school. And we have our summer program coming up, so we're partnering with the Allen County Public Library, and we're going to be feeding throughout the summer also. So there's so many programs you could be part of. There's a lot of volunteer opportunity there also. So there's just so many ways to get involved, and all of them will make a huge impact.
Yes. And lastly, I want to mention your upcoming event at the end of this month.
Yes. At the end of February, on leap year day, we are doing an event called Murder in the Works, and it is a murder mystery kind of speakeasy 1920s, and all of that is to fund our summer program. This is a new program that we're bringing on to feed at 8 citywide locations through the summer. So all the funds that we get from this event will be going to take care of the cost of that program. And I'm happy to say that as of today, our event is sold out.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
So first year for it. If you didn't get a chance to get a ticket, you know what? Quicker on the draw next year.
Right, because it looks like so much fun. So definitely, great. If they just follow you on your social medias, check out your website, they can see what's coming up.
Absolutely.
All right, Jama, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. And if you would like more information about Blessings in a Backpack, we'll have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break.